Wieder. Ist her. Doch, 4 Monate ist her. Ich bin jetzt gerade noch am gucken, wo ich meine Kamera. Packen wir es mal dahin. Ja. Ja, dass ich das letzte Mal gestreamt habe. Privat war, ja, ich will jetzt nicht sagen einiges los, aber privat ist auf jeden Fall ein bisschen was gelaufen, was mir auf jeden Fall ein bisschen mehr auch die Lust genommen hat. Filmen selber lag, sondern so generell auch an vielen anderen Sachen. Jetzt bin ich aber über dieses Spiel hier gestolpert. The Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe, und habe mir einen Trailer davon angeguckt und das sieht so geil aus und so witzig aus und so dermaßen seltsam, dass ich einfach gedacht habe, boah, Bock. Und das ist halt so ein Spiel, da willst du drüber reden, in irgendeiner Art und Weise. Das willst du nicht einfach nur spielen, das willst du mit irgendjemandem teilen. Da ich aber weiß, dass die Leute, mit denen ich sonst zocke, an so Spielen überhaupt keinen Spaß haben, teile ich es jetzt einfach mal wieder mit dem Netz. Ob jemand zuguckt oder nicht, habe ich keine Ahnung. Und ist mir eigentlich auch relativ. Aber so habe ich zumindest einen Grund zu reden und man führt keine Selbstgespräche. Meine Haare sind ab seit dem letzten Mal, aber auch schon wieder seit ein paar Monaten. Ähm, und ansonsten nichts Interessantes soweit. Ich hoffe, alles läuft, alle Kamera und so, also funktioniert ja, Ton ist hoffentlich auch okay. Ich habe ein bisschen umgestellt meine Bude, deswegen ist jetzt auch das Fenster hinter mir und nicht mehr eine kalte Wand. Ja, legen wir auch einfach mal los. Das Spiel hat schon mal witzig angefangen, weil man erstmal gefragt wird, hast du das Spiel schon mal
This is the
gespielt?
story of a man named Stanley.
Und wie viel Uhr ist es? Wo ich mir denke, was spielt das für eine Rolle? Aber ist egal.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Es ist 11:20 Uhr. Das Spiel wird moderiert von einem Erzähler. Finde ich sehr, sehr witzig. Habe ich schon im Trailer gesehen, fand ich schon mal cool. Und das Geilste, auf Englisch. Ich liebe es, wenn Sachen auf Englisch und in der Originalsprache sind. Und Englisch halt British English, nicht amerikanisch, sondern schön Englisch. Das klingt alles viel feiner, viel besser, viel edler. Das amerikanische Englisch ist auch ein sehr cooles Englisch, aber ich finde es bei sowas passender, das British English. Okay, also, ich kann mich bewegen hier. Das Interessante ist, es schwimmt immer noch so ein bisschen nach, also kleine Bewegungen und dann hängt so ein bisschen hinterher. Jetzt markieren
All of
hier.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Tür ist zu.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a
der
trace
ist, glaub,
of his
gekündigt.
co-workers.
Der schafft nicht mehr da. Auf jeden Fall wird da noch was gearbeitet, gedownloadet. Die haben Urlaub. Hat auch Urlaub oder schon Feierabend. 4:36 macht immer früher Feierabend. Und ich habe nie gesehen, dass der mal Überstunden gemacht hat. Und trotzdem sagt er immer, er macht Überstunden frei. Finde ich sehr peculiar. Ja, hier, der spielt wieder irgendein Spiel. Wie immer. Seine Kaffeetasse nicht weggeräumt. Ich hasse es, wenn die Kaffeetasse nicht weggeräumt ist. Da müssten wir immer. Dann hast du am Montagmorgen keine Kaffeetassen mehr. Das ist so ätzend. Und der wartet auf die IT. Der muss irgendwann auch wieder kommen. So, was sehen wir denn hier durch die Fenster? Ja, große Warteräume. Hier geht's irgendwo in irgendeinen Flur. Whatever. Mal kicken. Das ist auch wie so ein... Sieht ein bisschen aus wie so ein Filmset, wo das im Hintergrund abläuft und hier dann quasi gefilmt wird. So Grey's Anatomy und so
When
Zeugs.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So, tat er das? Bin ich mir jetzt nicht so sicher, ob er das tat. Nein, er tat's nicht.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Tja, maybe, maybe not. You never know. You never know. So.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Genau. Let's drink it all in.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Aha. The first open door on his left. Das ist mal kein Büroraum. Und was ist hier? Das ist ein Lagerraum.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Den mag ich. Den Erzähler mag ich jetzt schon. Diese passiv-aggressive Art. Das ist hier irgendwie Lagerraumgedönse, oder?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To
Who's
put
her?
your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who is her?
She's been waiting.
Who are you talking about? You Geschichtenerzähler. Oh. Ich bin kein Fan von Horrorspielen, die ich noch nicht kenne. Keine Ahnung. Was? Alter.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
Neu.
If you can truly place your
Das ist...
faith
Oh,
in
Zigarette.
another, then pick up the phone.
Kann ich geschwind eine rauchen? Jetzt komm, sei doch jetzt so. Ich weiß nicht, über welchen Knopf ich drücken muss, weil ich bisher keine Knöpfe gedrückt habe. Ich drücke jetzt. Ah, X, okay. Voll hell. Oh, jetzt sind wir. Wo sind wir jetzt?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oha.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Der Erzähler ist ein Arsch.
Sorry, but you're
Hoppa.
in my story now.
Hey, Pisskopf. Lass mich unter Druck setzen hier. Was ist das für eine Einrichtung?
This is a
So kann
very
doch keiner
sad
leben.
story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oha.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes, is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown. Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize his own
genau. Ich schaue hier Fernsehen gerade.
that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Zeit mit den Jungs zu verbringen, genau.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Abendessen vorbereitet. Genau, können wir beim Kühlschrank. Oh, nein, nee, der ist kaputt. Schatz, der Kühlschrank ist kaputt. Der Kühlschrank ist kaputt. Ich will das Abendessen vorbereiten, aber es geht nicht. Geht nicht. Und deine Frisur gefällt mir nicht. Also ich mochte es, als es noch so ein bisschen stoppelig war. Jetzt so ganz glatt, das gefällt mir nicht. Sorry, das ist nicht meins. Und zieh dir mal was an. Die Kinder rennen hier rum. Außerdem wollen die Jungs vorbeikommen. Ich kann nichts machen. Ist das geil.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved.
Das hat sich gerade verändert, ich habe es nicht mal gemerkt.
Down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Ich liebe
But there
dich.
is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Mein Schreibtisch.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Wie geil. Ich soll keinen Knopf drücken. Also jetzt drücke ich mal keinen Knopf. Ich höre jetzt mal auf den. Mal schauen, wie lange, ob überhaupt irgendwas passiert. Nö, passiert natürlich gar nichts. Das ist dieses Fourth Wall durchbrechen und ich liebe sowas.
You see?
Ich habe jetzt gedrückt.
How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to unveil this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button.
Bitte stirb.
And I tried.
Was? Ich bin gestorben. Wie geil. Oh Mann. Okay, cool. Witzig. Tür geht zu.
All of his
Tür geht
co-workers
zu.
were gone. What could it mean?
Ah, guck mal, alle
Stanley
Coworker.
decided to
Oh
go to
Gott.
the meeting room.
Das ist ja
Perhaps
was
he had
Neues.
simply missed a memo.
Alle sind weg.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, let's start again. Computer sind immer noch alle gleich. Runtergefahren. Der hat noch was geschafft. Ich verstehe auch nicht, dass sie überall die Schubladen offen gelassen haben. Das wird mir auch nerven. Was für eine Aussicht. Guckt euch mal die Aussicht an. Oh, das sieht man sogar in meinem Gesicht. Oh, ein Traum. Hat so ein bisschen was wie bei in Filmen, so Pulp Fiction zum Beispiel, wo man den Koffer öffnet, aber der Zuschauer nie sieht, was im Koffer ist. Aber man öffnet den Koffer und die Leute werden so angeleuchtet. Oh. Okay. Gut. Okay. Jetzt kommen wir wahrscheinlich gleich wieder in den Raum, wo es nach links oder rechts geht.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wenn ich jetzt nochmal nach rechts gehe, läuft es dann einfach so ab wie vorhin? Ich probiere es aus. Ich bin neugierig.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Ich will einfach mal
Perhaps he
wissen.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting
Das hat
room.
er vorhin nicht
Life without
gesagt.
having experienced this room was now too horrible. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, ich gehe nach links.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Aha. Wenn ich jetzt hier durchlaufe, bin ich wieder back on track. Ich will aber nicht back on track. Guck mal, hier ist ein Aufzug. Ja. Du bist doch selber nur einer von dieser Maschinerie. Du Nerd,
But
du
Stanley didn't want
Erzähler.
to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now,
Yeah.
in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no.
No.
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Wie geil.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Ja, klar, kein Problem. Lass dir Zeit.
Now, let's see, we went down right,
Soll ich was zu trinken
left,
holen, oder?
down, left, right. Yep, okay,
You sure? 100% sure? I mean, I don't have any other way to go out, but... Okay, we'll try. Not good for the environment. Okay, jetzt geht's relativ linear. Ich kann gar keine Entscheidung treffen.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh.
Das ist ein
Who am
Mitarbeiter.
I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Das sind viele
The whole
Mitarbeiter.
story completely
Wo ist
unusable.
427?
How
Da
about
ist
rather than waste
427.
my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the
Ah,
game from the
direkt vor
beginning.
uns ist 427. Ich hab's genau gesehen.
Suppose we don't wander so far off track.
Wo ist jetzt? Ach, jetzt ist da unter.
From the top.
Und wieder am Anfang. Wie geil. Wenn der Erzähler nicht durchsteigt, dann muss man wieder von vorne
All of
anfangen.
his
Auch gut.
co-workers were gone.
Ja, hatten wir das schon.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, jetzt rauschen wir mal hier ein bisschen durch.
When Stanley...
Ja.
Wait, what? No,
Die
I
Türen sind zu.
restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you
Nein.
move the story somewhere, or... Oh,
Wie
no.
denn?
Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was
Yeah.
right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Nice. Whole different story. Okay, wir laufen mal nicht links, wir laufen hier rum. Hui. Ein Labyrinth. Oh fuck, das ist wirklich ein Labyrinth. Ich höre eine Uhr. Ich habe keine Uhr. Oh, das ist auch creepy ein bisschen. Also im Horrorgame würde ich mich jetzt ankacken.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over
Nicht neu
again.
starten. Guck mal, ich
It's
hab
gotta
hier
be
was
better than
gefunden.
this.
Nein.
Okay, let's give it a
Ah,
shot.
jetzt bin
Why
ich
not?
zurück. Jetzt bin ich wieder. Er ist sehr ungeduldig, der Erzähler. Lass uns doch einmal erkunden, ein bisschen looten.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Ja, wissen wir doch schon.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ist das geil. Ich liebe das. Und jetzt ist es gar keine
It's
Türen.
worse.
Ja.
I might be remembering this
Pretty
wrong.
much worse.
It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. I mean, I don't have many options left. So, let's go back. Oh, lag die vorhin schon da? Nope. Doesn't seem so.
Aha!
Aha.
I knew we'd miss something. The story.
Der Raum war vorher nicht
Here
da.
it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay. The fuck? Geht's doch in die Richtung von dem Horrorgame?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Wunderbar. Vielen Dank. Gut, danke fürs Mitspielen. Und
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
not again. Okay, für die ganz Blöden gibt es jetzt eine Linie. Also quasi für mich. Aber vielleicht will ich noch ein bisschen meine Arbeit erledigen. Muss was eingeben, so. Alligator 7. Ah, falsches Passwort. Alligator 8. Alligator 6. Hallo? Okay.
All right, I've got a solution.
So.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ich würde ganz gern, nur um ihn zu ärgern, in eine andere Richtung gehen. Aber gleichzeitig bin ich echt neugierig, weil das eine neue Tür ist. Ich gehe die neue Tür. Oh, da spielt eine Solitär. König auf Ass. Ass auf König. Ach, verdammt. Okay, wir folgen jetzt ihm mal. Auch wenn dieser Weg
See,
mir irgendwie...
the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to
Pretty
put it
much.
another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative
Cool.
experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Das sind alles ungespülte Tasten. Die Musik ist echt laut. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, der muss wichtig sein, Nummer 006. Zicke, zacke, zicke, zacke. Da, dam, da. Ba, ba, la, da, dam, da. Creepy shit. The fuck? Are you?
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Ah.
Stanley, this fern will be very important in the story.
Okay.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. It's a fern. It's a fern? A fern. Grüner Fern? Ja. Mhm. Der ist bestimmt ganz, ganz wichtig für später für die Geschichte. Und das wollte ich noch sagen. Die Stimme von dem Erzähler erinnert mich brutal an die Stimme von Per Anhalter durch die Galaxis. Wo ja auch immer der Erzähler da ist. Auch richtig cool. Okay, ja, ein Farm. Gut, laufen wir weiter.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Lauf mal doch wieder darüber, komm. Ich übernehme jetzt die Kontrolle wieder über das Spiel. So.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Eingetragenes Markenzeichen. Die Linie. Jetzt sind wir wieder hier.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Und jetzt? Soll ich wieder der Linie folgen?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
Ja, sehe ich genauso.
People, right?
Ja.
Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay. Something new, something fresh.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okay. Right now we're in a floor.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Nehmen wir dieses TM daneben. Die Linie, sie.
A choice.
Ein neuer Raum.
We get to make a decision.
Den kennen wir noch
the
nicht.
story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere
wir laufen
the
gegen den
place
Strich.
where we're trying to go,
Wir
there
halten
must be
uns
a reverse
an Regeln,
door
aber
that
nicht so
leads
ganz
here.
wirklich. Wir
And
machen
that
so ein
in
bisschen, was wir
turn
wollen.
means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay. Ich will aber die linke nehmen. Nicht rein. Nicht da rein. Hallo. Na gut. Das Verwirrungsende.
Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Sowas hat immer eine Bedeutung. Das ist jetzt genau aufgestellt, was, wie, wo, wann. Das hat immer eine Bedeutung.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
Deswegen mache ich von sowas.
Blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
Deswegen mache ich da einen Screenshot von.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped.
The fuck?
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Was? Mit dem Satz abgebrochen. Armer Erzähler. Der macht doch auch nur seinen Job.
All of it, Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Das war auf jeden Fall jetzt schon mal ein Ende, ein sehr überraschendes Ende. Irgendwas, keine Ahnung. Geil. 1 von wie vielen? Ich will die gelbe Linie zurück. Die hat mir sehr geholfen. Jetzt laufe ich ganz ziellos umher ohne die gelbe Linie. Ich will meine Linie zurück. Oh, wir haben wieder Türen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wenn ich jetzt das, was ich da abfotografiert habe, gerade zur Hand hätte, aber... Wir nehmen jetzt mal die Tür zur linken. Das haben wir jetzt noch nicht erforscht. Der Erzähler war jetzt auch sehr geduldig und... So.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of... The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. The fuck? Tomorrow. Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Employee 417 491 431 405 406. Jim. Who's Jim? It's the only name. Meeting room. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Würde ich aber gern dran rumkratzen jetzt. Okay. Mhm. Nature, transcend, mitosis, charts, avoid, plant life, football, pollution, comatose, spring break, hope, clear, menopause, clear skin. Okay. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you, take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers, resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Yeah, nice. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Okay, cool. Gehen wir weiter.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Das machen wir jetzt mal nicht. Ich will jetzt mal wissen, was unten noch ist. Was ist das? Oh, rot. Sieht unheimlich aus. Was ist das hier? Ich hoffe. Tiefgarage.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Wie ist dieses
He
Auto
considered
da
the
reingekommen?
possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an
Die Musik wird
explanation.
gerade kacke.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself
fuck?
soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled
fuck?
that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it.
Ich laufe hier übrigens immer noch im Kreis, ja.
In control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Shit. Immer noch hier.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Und das war die Geschichte von Stanley, würde ich mal sagen. Und wieder am Anfang. Okay. Gut. Ich lasse es für heute. Aus dem ganz einfachen Grund, das Spiel ist, glaube ich, nicht besonders lang, aber es ist echt witzig. Und total durchgeknallt. Und ich will es auch genießen. Und deswegen spiele ich das später weiter. Außerdem muss ich morgen wieder früh raus, muss arbeiten. Gut. Ich mache morgen weiter. Oder übermorgen. Aber ich denke auf jeden Fall zeitnah, weil das Spiel interessiert mich schon. Und genau. Lasst es dann für heute gut sein. Wünsche einen angenehmen Abend, wenn es sich irgendjemand mal anguckt. Wenn sich es auch keiner anguckt. Weil letztendlich muss man ja auch ganz klar sagen, es ist ein Video von Millionen und Milliarden von Videos, die existieren. Und ich will gar nicht wissen, wie viele 100.000 Videos täglich in Deutschland hochgeladen werden. Vielleicht nicht 100.000, aber viele Tausend. Die sich Leute angucken sollen oder auch nicht angucken sollen. Und da sind Leute dabei, die sich wirklich Mühe geben. Auch irgendwie versuchen, Bekanntheitsgrad zu erreichen und. Und auch Content liefern, der in irgendeiner Art und Weise geil und interessant ist und Leute anspricht. Und so jemand wie ich, der da einfach nur macht, weil er halt Lust und Laune drauf hat, ist da ein ganz, ganz kleines Licht. Und das ist auch okay so. Ja, damit lassen wir es gut sein. Schönen Abend. Adios. Noch schnell die Übertragung beenden. Übertragung beenden. Wollen Sie beenden? Ja, wir wollen beenden. Adios.